Got it. Austin, the cord's in front of it. There you go. All right, so today we're going to talk about building lines. Does anybody know what a setback is? Okay.
Oh yeah, it's like you put it out so when you dig, it's like, I don't know, like make it wider than what it is.
That's a good guess, but that is not it. But yes, you do want overdig, and we're going to go over that. That is true. That's just called overdig. So you show up on a job site and you got a piece of property there and you want to set up some building lines. Say the people are going to build a house, a small ranch. First thing you got to worry about is setbacks. Setbacks are off the property line, okay? Township to township, this can change. City to country, this changes. So you have to be familiar with where you're building, and you'd have to check with local building inspector. Say at Devil's Lake, your building has to be 10 foot off the property lines. It doesn't matter even if it's a deck, okay? It's got to be 10 foot from the property line, okay? And that is counting your overhang. If you look over at that house over there, see how it's got an overhang? It goes past the building itself, okay? That is counting overhang too, so you'd have to take that into consideration. But it doesn't matter. Let's say we're building a deck today. Now there are ways around setbacks. Sometimes you can put in for a variance, called a variance. This kind of stuff costs you money, but maybe you can get a variance and build closer to the property line than what you are supposed to. Austin, please.
It wasn't even on your face.
So setback, say we had a setback and say the property line was that driveway there. So say we had to stay 25 foot off the edge of that driveway line, okay? So that's the first thing that you would set up. Now it's the first, say none of the other property lines you had to worry about because you were in the center there and you had plenty of room. But say you had to stay 25 foot, would you do it like Austin's doing there? No. Okay, because I'll tell you what could happen if you build something and it's too close, they could make you tear it down. You could have a house built and they could say, tear it down or move it, it's too close. And there's nothing you can do. You would have to move it or tear it down, okay? So that's really critical. That could be very costly. Say you were building a $150,000 house and you had it all framed up and you had to move it or tear it down, okay? So it's critical that this is right. So yes, you'd want to use a tape measure, not pacing it off. So say we don't have a lot of room this way, so say we want to stay right within that variance and we're building a deck. So first thing that you would want to do is measure off, say we're going to start right up in that area there, 20 foot off from that property line, okay? We have some stakes. So we'll drive a stake at 20 foot off that thing, off the driveway for our setback. So that's the first stake you're going to put in. So go ahead. Somebody grab a sledgehammer, grab a stake, you guys got tape measures, 20 foot.
Oh, please, can Jake just hold this and you'll be like, you like to it?
So, another thing that you got to be concerned with whenever you're working, do you guys remember what misdig is?
Yeah.
When you get the measurements wrong?
Misdig?
Yeah, I think
You should know this from OSHA. I'm sure she covered this.
God, that's so long ago.
this dig comes out and
For
measures.
teenagers, that's like a year ago.
You got to worry about stuff buried in the ground before you dig. So you call misdig, they come out, they mark electrical lines, you know, water lines, gas lines, using different colored flags. You remember that? Okay, so we're not digging yet, so we're okay. So go ahead, measure 20 foot, someplace about where Melissa is, straight out to the driveway. Yes, straight out to the driveway, 20 foot. Okay. So you're gonna do the reading, right? Okay. Watch it, on one side it's metric, don't use metric. Huh?
We had a collar when we had a dig in our backyard.
Okay. Lay it right down to the ground. Melissa, are you at the edge of the driveway?
No,
That's where you need to be at 20 foot at the edge of the driveway. Tell them what to do.
Did you do 25 or 20?
I did 25.
Oh, we need 20.
20 foot. Okay. Lay it right down on the ground and stay at least no more or no less, but it could be a little bit more to make sure. Okay. Tap that in. Now listen, you want that stake driven pretty straight, which would be level or plumb.
Oh, please, Jake, just
Which, hey, what's level and what is plumb?
Level's flat.
Level's horizontal, plumb is up and down. You want it plumb. And you want it sticking out of the ground, so don't drive it all the way in. That's good. Don't drive it too much deeper than that. I know the ground's soft, but okay. Yes, you need your stake solid, but okay. So we got one stake set up. All right. So now you got to determine, say the deck's going to be 20 foot long this way. Okay. You want your stakes at least 2 foot each way on the outside of that. So how far, if you're going to, you need your deck 20 foot, what are you going to measure before you put your next stake? 22 or 2 foot on each side. So it would be 24 foot. Okay, does that make sense? Not only do you got to get the 24 foot this way, you also have to be 20 foot off this driveway. Does that make sense? Okay. So you got to take two measurements kind of at the same time here. And I got one person trying to measure and nobody helping her.
I am independent. I got this. Dude.
No, this is something that takes group effort, and that's why we're doing this.
My job. Hang on to it. Let's go.
20 foot a foot.
Yeah, right down by the ground.
That's up.
That's going to be 20 foot, so it's going to be 24 foot, right? Because we want to stay at least 2 foot big each way. 24 foot, lay it down on the ground. Somebody get a stake up here. Stake and sledgehammer. You got that other tape in your hand. Measure 20 foot. Dylan, 20 foot off that driveway.
Hold on, Austin, we gotta measure.
Hey, Austin, you're not quite set yet.
No, just right there.
Now, you want to stay square. Look how crooked he's going to the driveway. The angle changes that measurement. He's got to come back this way. And you guys got to talk to each other when you see stuff like that. There's 20 foot. Oh my gosh. Nowhere near where you need to be. Okay. Now you got to move this tape over this way and get your 24 foot at that point. No, I'm just saying, I'm trying to help you understand how you got to go about this. Pull your tape tight. Look at what it's doing. Straight line, right? And that doesn't have to be exactly 24 foot, but at least. Okay, so we need the sledgehammer. You got to drive that straight. Don't hit Melissa in the head or the
Please,
teeth.
Austin, just hold
Now-
it and let me do it.
Yes.
Just let me, dude, I got this.
Okay, good.
Point off.
Good. A little bit more, Austin. I was just saying you're driving it nice and straight, and that's what you want. Okay, so we got one line set up, or one area. That's the most critical one because that's where we were concerned with our setback. Okay, so
Can you explain the 24 foot thing? I don't get that.
Yeah.
you want your stakes on the outside of your building line at least 2 foot. So your building line's actually going to be in here 2 foot.
Oh, okay.
And you'll see once
it's
we
just
get
like
going
one
on
foot
this.
each side.
Yes. Okay, so your next step, you gotta get a starting point up there. We can run this string line, and I'm gonna have to take this microphone off to get up there. Yeah, will ya? That'd be nice. Well, let me get tangled up. Okay, so we want to get a line set up, okay? Our most critical line was keeping our setback. So we're going to run this line. Now, round stakes are a little funky because it wants to slide around. You could use wood stakes for this, square ones, then your line's not twisting all over. But you always have a loop in the end of your line tied off, and you just want to run your line through that so it holds on there nice and tight, and it'll draw down as you put pressure. Okay. Normally, like when I'm doing this, I like to stay to the outside of my stakes so everything is the same. So I tighten it down like that and then bring it around here like this right here, okay? So you're gonna run this line down to this point. Now, to keep a good tight line, you get straightest distance between 2 points is a straight line, correct? That's geometry. You gotta draw this line up. If you just have this up there like this, do you think that line's straight? No, you gotta draw it, especially with the wind blowing. Easy way to do this is just double it over and you twist it up like this, okay? If you twist, you put it on your other stake and you pull on it, drawing it up tight, and then loop it around. Might have got her too tight for as good as these stakes are in. Okay, just like that there, and then wrap it around. Okay, and oh, I want to stay to the outside. Sorry, I went the wrong way. We better hit these stakes a little bit more because they're gonna give out here. Got to get them in the ground a little bit deeper. So here, pull. See, now is that actually holding that 2 foot anymore? I've moved that stake around 4 or 5 inches. Take her on down. Does that feel solid? No?
I mean, more than what it was.
Yeah, do it again because it's not going to hold true. That's good. That's better. Same thing here. You might want to check your 24 foot again here because if that ain't, no, that's all right because that's big. That one's big. Here, come on, hit this.
Do we need to remeasure or you just say no?
No, that's good. Keep going. I'm sorry, I was talking to her. Okay, that's good. They got to be sticking out of the ground so your line's not dragging the ground, but now I can draw it up a little bit better. Okay, and then twist around, and that should hold that line. Should. Round stakes don't work as good as square, that's for sure. Okay, so we got our first line set up. So now you got to start with your second line. Remember, we kept about 2 foot over dig. So you'd want to determine what end you're real critical that it starts in a certain point. We'll start here, it doesn't really matter. So we need another stake. So you want to come in here about that 2 foot, okay? So your line's going to be someplace in there, or your stake. But there you go again. You want it on the outside of this. So you're going to pound a stake in about right here, someplace. Straight and so it's solid. That looks crooked. This way. There. Go ahead. Hit my hand. I know you want to. That's good. Okay, so now you're ready to set up your next line. You're going to come over to this. We want to be to outside, correct? Okay, so we can go like this, and then it's going to be pulling on the outside of that stake. And we're going to take it this direction here. Okay. Now, you either got to be above that just a little bit or below it. You can't be pushing on the line like this. Does that make sense? Because it's going to change the line. Okay, so somebody take this spool and go that direction. And we need another stake.
Got you. Back off.
Huh? Well, he's heading down there, so I would say that's okay. So this way, let's say we're going to go 10 foot. We'll keep it smaller so we're not getting way spread out. So 10 foot. Now, remember, we got to be concerned with square. Okay, this has to be set up square. Can you see perfectly square? No, but you got to get it close. We didn't bring one out here, but a framing square sometimes holding in that corner helps you. But I will eyeball it and try to get it fairly close. It isn't going to be right because you always usually have to move this stuff. It looks to me like you have to go this way. Someplace in there. Maybe back just a touch, right in there someplace. Okay, now we need 10 foot. But we want to keep that stake on the outside, correct? So, are we sure we got over 10 foot there? No. Yeah, we are. I mean, that's way over 10 foot. So go ahead, drive a stake where he is. You got to keep that line tight and try to hold it where it was pretty square. Now you're pushing the stake over crooked. The stake's got to be straight. Melissa, stop for a second. The stake's leaning like this.
Move to the other way.
Not too far. Not you're getting too.
To the right a little.
I know, but you're moving at 4 or 5 inches at a time.
There.
It's just a little bit. Yes, better.
Is that fine?
Yep. Don't get hit in the hand.
Is that stake gonna be the same as this one?
Oh, it's going crooked. You can see it's going crooked. Don't keep driving it.
Right there.
Okay. So now we got a second building line set up. So now everything after this is just measurements. Okay. So we want to be to the outside of stake, right? So we can tie this a little bit here, twisting, pulling, and then wrapping and okay. So now you got to set your next line up. This is an exact measurement. What does it have to be off that line? Well, no, distance that we're coming. 10 foot, right? So somebody needs to hold a tape measure on that stake or on the line and then mark 10 foot out here. Okay? One guy can't run the tape. This is a group effort. Now, do you guys, what do you have there? It's got a hook. Now you cannot hook on the line, you cannot touch the line, because when you do, you're moving the line. And where does 2 start? Right here, right? So that's what's got to be even with that there. Myself, I wouldn't even be using that tape yet. I would just, it's 10 foot. You got a 25-foot tape there. That's a little easier to handle. That's what I would do, but you guys do it however you want. Where's 10 foot? That's, wow, so we're way big. Look how far out there we stuck that stake.
I told you. It was
Okay.
9 feet, but hey. No, just don't.
Now, do you want your stake right here on this line?
No.
For this line going this way? Where do you want it?
Oh, here, back here.
2 foot out about. So you need to be holding it way out there on that stake or by that stake. Okay? It could be, that's a little easier to do too, hooking on the outside of that stake, right? Okay, got a stake?
Duh, I got you.
Medium rare, straight, 10 foot exactly to the outside edge, right? Okay. Wow, it's crooked. Crooked is nowhere near 10 foot anymore.
It's gotta come this way, guys. Yeah, a little bit more, a little bit more.
Now, he's holding to the top of the stake, so this, look at how far you're off. You're an inch off. Now that stake's crooked, so if you don't hook the line directly on the right point on the stake, it's going to be wrong. Okay. You good? You guys got to communicate. You talking, yes, I'm good. Him saying, are you good? This takes a group effort to do this. One person cannot do this.
It's gotta be more like that. I'll try.
But the stake's really crooked.
What?
No, it ain't bad. Go ahead. Wow, now it is crooked.
No, it's not.
Wait, actually.
Is that exactly 10 foot? Have you guys checked it?
Yeah.
It's got.
It was,
So if it's a quarter off, I'm giving you all zeros because a quarter's way too much.
well, she just.
Yeah, I'm serious. This has to be picky.
It is 10 feet.
It's 10 feet to the wrong side of the pole,
Oh
though.
my God.
This is critical. That stake's a 3/4 inch stake. That's 3/4 of an inch off. That would be, you would be fired if somebody seen that. Seriously, I'm telling you the truth. It's got to be right.
So we pull it out?
10
Yeah.
foot to the edge.
10 foot to the edge.
Outside edge it should be. Close. Okay. So now you're gonna bring your line over here, somebody. Here you go. I don't want this.
My pleasure.
So you want to wrap it so it goes to the outside of the stake, right?
How'd you do it? You did like.
You don't even have to do that for this stake because you're just going to do this.
Okay.
And that's good. I would, well, if we move it up higher, we should be able to go on top of that that. So go over that and you're heading down that way now.
I just want to find a car. I think this is
Oh man.
What? Oh, you got the line? It's all right. All right. So Austin, you're moving kind of with us too, right? So this
Stepping on it.
next stake has to be where?
the outside line at 20 feet. 24 feet.
Right, but what are we running here? We're running this.
10 feet.
So we need measurement 10 foot from stake, because remember that stake's out far, and that's where we want it. Oh, we got more stakes. Good. I thought we were out already. There you go. Work together. You got to work together. This is simple. Remember what we talked about when you're building a building, it being perfectly square and everything goes good, but if it's not, everything goes bad.
Hey, I told
That's
you
why
that
we're
was
doing
not
this.
10 foot. I told you.
At least I said, and it was over. Yes, way over.
Yeah. You can just like see with your eyes.
Somebody sledgehammer it, Melissa.
Got you, bro.
Oh my gosh, this scares me.
Hold it. Hold the stake.
Somebody,
Oh my God, who put it there then? Austin.
Told me to.
Right here. This side? Or the other side?
you guys got to stretch that tape so she can see 10 foot. Pull it. There you go. So, are you at 10 foot? Yeah. Out should be outside edge.
Are we really gonna dig this or no?
No, we're just showing you how to set building lines up correctly. That's all we're doing.
And then we gotta take this off, let PM do it.
Yes, 10 foot should be the outside edge. Where's the outside edge?
It's got to come over here. Right there.
This is the outside edge right here on this side.
Oh, so
Yes, should be just the same as that is.
now it's got to go back. It's got to go back. I thought it was the other way around.
That's why I was so confused. Like,
Make sure it's straight.
I'll hit you.
Yeah, it's,
Hold the pole.
So yeah, it would be helpful if somebody held it and she didn't just take it all over about 6 inches out of where it's supposed to be.
Is it tight?
You guys scared to hold that stake for her?
I don't want her swinging at my hand.
Why? All you can do is get a smashed finger.
That's good. Yeah, why? Yeah.
Is it 10? Exactly. I'm really picky.
That's good. Oh, look at that.
Okay.
Shut up.
So now we can set that line up, correct?
On the wrong side though, but it's okay.
So on the outside, right? So same thing. You want to try this?
I don't.
Twist in. And it's worse than on these than it is square. Square kind of helps hold it. Okay, so you have this to the size. Okay. Didn't stay tight. I don't like these round stakes. No wonder I have square ones.
Like I said, first day we walked in and saw these, I was like, crap, our teacher has a grandpa fetish.
It's like a.
Okay.
Go,
You gonna hold? Don't want to. Okay, so now where can we get our next measurement for our building? We need this line here.
Then take that line over there and wrap it around that.
No, but where are you gonna take your measurements from?
You have to go, oh wait, I got it. Shh. You go right from that hole and you measure out this way.
How far?
You go 24 feet.
No.
22.
No.
21. 20.
20 foot is what our building size is. So yes, 20 foot, and then off that stake, 20 foot. And that's our last line. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's do it.
So, wait.
So we did 20 foot off that one. Back here.
No.
No, he's saying go back here.
This is 10 foot this way. It's 20 foot this way. You have to come off that line that's running this way,
We have to cut off.
parallel with the other line.
Keep going. Let's go, buddies. I don't see nobody in the camera yet. Let's go. Nobody's in the camera.
This thing is so much fun.
Somebody better be in the camera or my camera guy ain't doing his job.
He wasn't when I said it. Now he just got in.
Okay, line right down low to the ground. Who's got the stake? Who's holding the stake?
I'll hammer it.
20 foot.
No, you are not. I want to get this done.
Come on, let's go. Get the stake set. 20 foot to the outside. of the stake outside a building. Got it?
So slow. Can't you just do it the classic way? Wham!
But-
Wham! You're done. Look at that.
Don't worry, you're gonna get your chance because we'll be moving these lines for about a half hour to get it right.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't it. This is, so wrap it so it goes to the outside, and then we're gonna run it over here. Same thing, you guys should already be over here setting up, measuring off that stake 20 foot. You could already have the stake set. Here's the stake, final piece of the puzzle. Now remember, when you're the first time you don't even need that wrapped on there. But look where it's wrapping. When you pull that line this way, is it gonna be on the right side of the stake? The line that's coming this direction. Yeah, you gotta wrap it the other way, right? All you gotta do is wrap it a couple times towards the top.
You want to hit it so bad. Let's go.
Is that right now?
Yeah, just wrap it around. Yep. There you go. Come this way. And I would say probably, yeah, you might have to go underneath this line right here, underneath this one, because they're getting lower down there. Now is when you have to tie it off like I showed you. So twist.
Do you want to check the measurement?
Oh, we're going to check a lot of measurements.
Oh.
Remember, we're recording. I don't do any editing.
What? I didn't say a bad word.
Oh my gosh, that ain't gonna work.
Why is it?
Well, now look at here. Are you touching your line? So you got to come up. Yeah.
All right. Why don't you guys try it then?
No, it's
I'll
not.
do it,
There,
I'll do
there's
it.
nothing easy here.
I'll
You
do
got
it.
first thing you got to do is pull tight.
Not even touching the
It don't want it to be. I don't want it to be.
Now if you touch them because it'll mess with the measurement.
Yep. It'll put them where they're not supposed to be. So tight, then pull it, and you got to pull this knot thing around to the other side,
Oh my god. Oh.
and then wrap.
All I had was an energy.
I did better on that first one.
Okay, so what are you doing, Austin? Okay, so now, first thing you would want to do is check all your measurements, line to line. Make sure they're all correct, because there's no need of checking square if they're not right. Okay, does that make sense? Don't use that big tape, use a regular tape. You're gonna hold it right at this line right here without touching the line. Another guy's gonna be down here pulling it tight, and he's gonna check this line. And what should that measurement be? Right on the money. 10 foot, okay? You can't touch the line. You gotta talk. You gotta tell him when you're good, and he's gotta check the measurement. You're not touching the line, correct? Okay. What is it? 10 foot. Okay, that's good. Check the one down here, right parallel with it. Same thing. Two other people can check these. These got to be 20.
Hey, Dylan, my man, take this.
The 10?
This might be long enough.
Right on the money. You're not lying to me. Okay.
I think I broke it.
Okay. 20. Come on. You broke your tape? That tape wasn't even 20 foot long.
Now let's use the guy one. I don't like it.
Now that's not, you're supposed to be with line. Right, you got to hold it right at this line without touching the line. Without touching
I'm
the
not
line.
touching the
I can
line.
see it doing this. You're touching it.
You're breathing on
Stay
it.
up above.
You're breathing on
Stay
it.
up above.
I'm moving it.
You got to talk and tell him when you're good. Right now you're a quarter inch from that line.
Good.
Good, right there. Right on the money. Okay, good. Your tape, yeah, your tape's falling. Look at your tape. You got to pull that up tight. You got to kind of yank on it, and you got to hold it there. You can't, this tape should be up in the air like this if you're pulling it tight enough. Okay.
Uh-huh.
That's better. How far are you off? Almost a half, about 3/8 of an inch. So that stake needs to go out that way 3/8 of an inch. All you got to do is take that hammer and push it over a little bit and then tap it a little bit. Nice and easy, not like what they were doing earlier.
Okay.
But you'll have to recheck that measurement.
Okay.
So sledgehammer.
This is the second thing that died on me this week. I quit.
Don't do it like that.
So 3/8 of an inch. It would really be nice if two guys were checking the tape, one guy pulling the stake and you guys talking to him.
Okay.
So get it. Hey, Austin, hold that in with that line. He's going to have to pull tight, and you're going to have to hold it up above that line. And I don't want to see that line jiggling any.
You're breathing on it. It's not me.
Talk to him.
It's on the line.
You're moving it a whole inch around, telling him it's on.
It's on now.
There you go.
What?
Perfect.
20?
You're right on 20?
Yeah, man. Good.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Now where's Austin at?
He's throwing away my tape because it broke. Ah! Take your tail up.
Okay, hurry back, Austin. Okay, so you have all your measurements correct, but you still don't know if it's square. So how do you check square? We've been over this before a little bit. How do you check if this is square? Diagonals. That diagonal should be the same as that diagonal. So that's what you have to do. You cannot touch the lines with the tape. You got to pull the tape tight and check them. So you two check this one, you two check the other one. Remember, you got to talk to each other.
It's on mine.
You're pulling it with your finger. I see it moving 3/4 of an inch.
Yeah, it is.
258 inches. 68.
You good? Yeah.
Okay.
You got to hold it up and tight.
260. Yeah, I'm right on 268.
No, you're not. You're 268 and a half where them two lines cross. If I'm looking down it,
That means the angle's off.
you got to hold it one side or the other.
Dylan, you're the dream.
It's more tape down.
He's got to pull it tight to be right though.
Yeah.
You got to hold it there up above the line. Do not touch the line because you'll be moving it.
That's too much for me. Hey, cheese.
268 and 3/8. You sure yours is right at 268?
It's a little bit past 268.
Let me eyeball it. And move your tape one side or the other of your X. See how you're pushing on the line though? You can't do that because that moves it. Holy moly. It's right on the money. You know how often that happens? Never.
Ah, Dylan, my man.
Now, that's where if you get that first angle where it looks really square, you're usually close. If that was off though, say this one was 269 and this one would have been 268, you'd be how far off? So how far out of square do you think that is?
No, I suck at that.
Well, that's an inch, right? So do you think it's an inch out of square? It's actually a half inch. It's half that distance. So if this, yes, it means that angle isn't a 90 degree. None of them are 90-degree angles. Your box is leaning like this or like this.
We had a
Okay.
perfect thing.
That's unbelievable. I don't even like it. I want to go kick a steak and make you redo it. Matter of fact, I think I'll have you guys do it once more all by yourself.
No.
Yeah.
Shut up, Austin.
So, if this one was an inch bigger, this diagonal, than this, what would you have to do to fix that? Your size was all right, but it's just not square. What do you think you would have to do if this one was bigger?
You would have to fix the angle, right? You'd redo it.
Right, but what lines would you move?
Once you move the far one, and you would not touch this stake, but you touch the far one. That's what you
Far stay.
right?
You have to shrink this measurement down. What would shrink this measurement down?
Tighten the rope.
Would, if I took that line there and I moved it this way, would that shrink it down?
Yeah.
Okay, So if you did that, you would have to move that stake, but then that would change your measurement, so you would also have to move that stake. Does that make sense?
I quit.
How much would you move it if it was an inch off?
An inch.
A half inch, half of the distance.
What the crap?
You always want to move it half
Oh,
the
okay, so you
distance.
have to do it
Now,
yourself.
you wouldn't necessarily have to move this one. What else could you did? Couldn't have you moved to make this one bigger? Couldn't you move it that way? And wouldn't that also be shrinking the other one if you move that one this way? So you could either move this one this way or this one this way.
I say this
Right.
one makes it easier.
What you'd want to be kind of concerned with, though, is property lines and setbacks. If you were doing something to change a setback where it would put you too close, you couldn't move that line, right? Does that make sense? Okay, this doesn't matter. I don't care if you're building a deck, you're building a house, you're building a garage, you're building a pole barn. If you're pouring concrete and want the pad square, they're always set up like this. This is the way you have to set them up. Now, going back to the over dig, yes. So if you were getting this ready, say this was going to be a basement or basement to an addition or a crawl space, you would want over dig. So basically what they would do is set these lines up like this, and then they would just take some spray paint and come out here about 2 or 3 foot over dig, and they'd paint a big spot on the ground, and then that tells them where to dig, where to excavate. Does that make sense?
Those roller
Okay.
spray things are so fun.
So then you would have to set this up again down in the hole. Okay, I don't know. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody has it. So we can take our lines
Yes.
loose, roll the line up nice and neat, not a tangled up mess, pull the stakes,
And head back in.
and then we'll do it again.
No! No, I'm freezing. I'm gonna get Ebola. No.
Really? You don't get it from being cold. All right, yeah, we'll pick it up and head on in. You guys got lucky that it was square like that.
Oh, yeah. We can do it
Now,
later, too.
with it,
You want to record it when they're cleaning it up?
no, we're all set.